Welcome in to the Ravens Rundown, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. So glad to have you with us. On today's show, we will preview the Baltimore Ravens matchup with the Carolina Panthers coming up this Sunday as the Ravens are fresh off a bye week. We will tell you everything you need to know about this matchup in just one moment. The Ravens are facing a very familiar foe in Baker Mayfield getting the start for the Carolina Panthers. We've seen a lot of Baker over the years against Baltimore. The Ravens are 5-3 all-time against Baker. And, of course, Lamar Jackson and Baker Mayfield were in the same draft class. I want to know, folks, what do you hate most about Baker Mayfield? Of all the years that we've seen the Ravens face Baker and all his antics and shenanigans, what is it in particular you hate the most about Baker? Let me know in the comment section below what comes to mind of what you hate about Baker Mayfield. The Ravens taking on the Carolina Panthers. The Ravens coming in off their bye week after a win against the New Orleans Saints, and they're on a roll right now as they've won 3 in a row. Meanwhile, the Carolina Panthers, if you recall, they fired their head coach, Matt Rule, several weeks ago, and we've seen Steve Wilks take over as their head coach. And Wilks has actually done a decent job. They've had some pretty notable wins, beating the Buccaneers and the Falcons ever since Wilks took over. And for the Ravens, it's very interesting going into this matchup. The Ravens are the far superior team. And coming off a bye week, you would think they would feel fresh and a lot healthier, things back on track, right? But every week in the NFL is important. Every game matters. And you can't sleep on any given opponent. What do they say? Any given Sunday. So although the Ravens are 13.5-point favorites, and rightfully so, 13.5-point favorites, we're not saying that this is in the bag for Baltimore. I would lean towards that the Ravens should win this game convincingly, but nothing is a given by any means. The over-under at 43.5. I want to know who you got. You going with your Ravens, or are you picking the upset for Carolina? If you're taking the Ravens, type BAL for Baltimore. If you're holding with Carolina, let me know in the comment section. Type CAR for the Panthers. Let me know one way or the other. BAL for the Ravens, CAR for the Panthers. Who you got in this one? Let's begin with the injury report for the Ravens. And starting off, Gus Edwards, DeSean Jackson, Mark Andrews, Jason Pierre-Paul are all questionable. And all 4 of those players are guys the Ravens need badly. You look at Gus Edwards, and when he's been out there, in the limited time we've seen him, he's played pretty well so far this year since he came back from injury. DeSean Jackson made his debut against the New Orleans Saints, suffered that hammy injury, and we've seen with Rashad Bateman and some of the other injuries that have stacked up, they need all bodies involved, whatever they can get when it comes to that receiving course. It helped to have DeSean Jackson back. Mark Andrews missed the first game of his entire career against the Saints due to injury, and very unlike Mark Andrews, as he has been so consistent throughout his career. What Mark Andrews are we going to see on Sunday if he plays at all? Jason Pierre-Paul with an ankle issue, and then Trent Harris still with an undisclosed injury. All 5 of those guys are questionable. So with that, what are the keys to victory? What's it going to take for the Ravens to get things done against the Panthers? Let's begin with Lamar Jackson. As it always does, everything with this team starts with their franchise quarterback. And for me, I'll keep it really simple with Lamar. I think you just let him do his thing. You let Lamar be Lamar. The statistics this year, 16 passing touchdowns, 6 interceptions. His passer rating is solid as well, near 94. And I have no reason to think that he won't have another big day on Sunday. And his rushing statistics have been great as well. He's averaging over 7 yards a carry. He's got 2 rushing touchdowns. For me, I think you let Lamar do his thing and continue to work and be a problem for this Panthers team. And we were talking just the other day about Lamar's MVP chances, and you think he's doing this, he's playing so well, and they've been on this win streak as of late, right? And he's doing it with this complements around him, receivers and running backs that have been injured, that have been banged up, and that hasn't slowed him down at all. So credit where credit's due. You want to talk about being the most valuable player? Hard to argue that anyone's been more valuable to their team this year than what Lamar Jackson has been for the Ravens. Number 2 in the keys to victory for the Ravens, you got to run through your man. Look, we've talked about the Gus bus and, Gus Edwards being a downhill runner. And to me, that's what I'm looking at. Whether it's Gus Edwards or Kenyon Drake or whoever it may be, yards after contact is going to be a big key for the Ravens when it comes to the run game. Carolina has allowed more yards after contact than any team since Week 7. Since they fired Matt Rule and got better, things have not gotten better in run defense for this Carolina team, averaging about 2.6 yards after contact. And you look at the Ravens' rushing leaders. Lamar Jackson, of course, leading the way, but Kenyon Drake, he's had 2 games of over 90 yards rushing. If Gus Edwards is back to full strength, watch out. He could be dangerous as well. This Ravens run game, it's been inconsistent at times. It's been kind of, who's got the hot hand, but whoever it may be, whether it's the Gus bus or Kenyon Drake, Justice Hill, I don't know, got to run through your guy and win with yards after contact, be aggressive. And to me, that's going to be crucial for the Ravens when it comes to that run game. You tell me, name a player of the game for the Ravens. Who is going to be the guy that's most important to getting the job done for the Baltimore Ravens on Sunday? Let me know in the comments section. You tell me who you think is going to be the player of the game for the Ravens to get the job done and secure victory. Today's show is sponsored by Established Titles. Established Titles is a fun and novel way to preserve the natural woodlands of Scotland while helping global reforestation efforts. It is a project based on a historic Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lairds or lords and ladies in English. Title packs give you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land with a unique plot number on a private estate in Eddleston, Scotland, an official certificate with a crest. We plant a tree with every order and work with global charities, One Tree Planted, and Trees for the Future to support global reforestation efforts. You can officially include the title, Lord or Lady, on your credit card, plane tickets, dating profiles, and more. Makes for a great last-minute gift. First 200 people purchasing a title pack using my link will effectively be next to my plot within a few minutes of walking distance. Depending on how many of you want to become a Lord or Lady, we can build our own Ravens Rundown Kingdom. Established Titles is actually running a massive early Black Friday sale right now with discounts up to 80% off. Plus, if you use the code CHAT, you get an additional 10% off. Go to establishedtitles.com/chat to get your gifts now and help support us here at the Ravens Rundown. That's establishedtitles.com/chat to save an extra 10% off right in time for the holiday season. A few more keys to the game for you, for your Baltimore Ravens. Third down is going to be very crucial, and not just when it comes to offensively of converting third downs, but also stopping third downs. And this is why you brought in Roquan Smith to be your starting middle linebacker. And, this defense has played so well this year, and I have no reason to think that things will slow down against this lowly Carolina Panthers team. But here's why I focus on third down, folks. Listen to this. Carolina has a third down conversion rate of 28.3%. That's the worst in the NFL. The Ravens defense, however, has allowed a third down conversion rate of just 34.3 this season. That's the 5th best in the NFL. So to put this in the simplest of terms here, the Ravens do a really good job of stopping teams on third down, and Carolina struggles converting on third down offensively. So it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that this Ravens team needs to win on third down, that's a good recipe for success when it comes to facing this Carolina Panthers team. Moving on now, let's talk about limiting big plays defensively. And I know that Carolina has struggled to move the football this year. And Baker Mayfield, as we mentioned, going to get the start. And I point to guys like Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Peters in the secondary in particular to not give up big plays, not let Mayfield in the Carolina Panthers offense kind of cheat a little bit, if that makes sense. Because although the Carolina offense has been cheeks this year, the thing that I will point to with Baker Mayfield, the PFF grades show that he has been at his best when throwing the deep ball. He's graded out at a 72, which is much higher than his other grades when you talk about the medium passing game, the short passing game, behind the line of scrimmage. Baker has been at his best with the deep ball. And when it comes to the win-loss total, listen to this. The Panthers are 2-14 when making less than 7 explosive plays since 2021. That's the worst in the NFL. So to break it down for you, Baker Mayfield is at his best when he gets the ball downfield. And Carolina relies on that to win football games. If you avoid giving up the big play to the Carolina Panthers, more times than not, you're going to win with that 2-14 record that they've had since last year. So the worst in the NFL. Got one more key to victory we'll get to here in one moment. Before we do, though, we asked you earlier of who you think's going to win on Sunday between the Ravens and the Panthers. What's the final score going to be? Here's your chance to weigh in the comments section. Predict the score for me on Sunday's game between your Ravens and the Panthers. I think you're probably all saying it's going to be a Ravens win. By how much, though? I want to know what you guys are thinking. Predict the score for Sunday's game in the comment section below. And finally, number 5 on our countdown of keys to victory. It's all about finishing strong. Look, it's been no secret. Everybody's talked about that, what the Ravens have done in the 3 losses they suffered. They had double-digit leads in the fourth quarter and blew those leads. And, right at the jaws of victory, win was taken from them. No secret. We've all talked about that. But here's something to think about on the other side for the Carolina Panthers. They are winless when they enter the fourth quarter within 7 points. This team struggles when they are right there within that margin. So, got to continue to push. Don't let up by any stretch. The Ravens, get this, folks, have scored on 47.8% of their drives in the second half of this season. That's the second best in the NFL. They've done a really good job, believe it or not, of scoring in the second half. So don't back down. Keep it going. All gas, no brakes in the second half. And don't even open the door somewhat for this Carolina Panthers team. My pick, I think Sunday's going to be ugly. I might even be kind with this prediction. I think because of some of the injuries that we talked about earlier, we don't know if this Ravens team necessarily is going to be at full strength. Either way, to me, there's no reason why this game should be close. I like the Ravens to win. I like them to cover. Give me Baltimore 30-10 to get it done against the Carolina Panthers and get another win in the win column. Before we go, if you're rooting for your Baltimore Ravens, here's what I need you to do. I need you to spam flock in the comments section. If you're rooting for Baltimore, you want to see them get it done, spam flock in the comments section if you're rooting for your Baltimore Ravens. As always, you can interact with me on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and everything in between, at Tyler Jones Live, talking about your Ravens and those social media platforms. And I'll see you next time right here on the Ravens Rundown.